What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of Sundays with Strika. I am your host, Laika Abibi, aka Strika, and once again, thank you to everybody who has watched the first 2 episodes here on YouTube and everyone who's listened on the Anchor app. I really appreciate your support of me. If you're not subscribed to the STRIKA'LITES YouTube channel, you should do so. We're on the road to 100 subs, and hopefully we can continue to grow this platform together. So thank you again to everybody who's supported me over this little podcast that I've started over the last couple of weeks. But we're going to get right into it. I had some pretty cool adventures this week. I went out to Clayton, North Carolina, where some of the Johnston County football players got together and ran a little 7-on-7. It wasn't out there too long, but it was definitely worth the trip because I got to get to know some of the kids I don't really get to see most of the time during the year because as a college student at ECU, it's kind of hard to get trips to all the way to Johnston County, which is like an hour and a half to most places. So, but either way, it was some good runs, some good football, a little bit of one-on-one stuff at the beginning, and then a little bit of sevens at the end, and definitely shout out to the kids at Cleveland and Clayton that put that together, and definitely got to make a trip back, and hopefully we can run that back sometime soon for sure. Of course, after that, I went over to Fairview Park in Goldsboro, where some of the Wayne and Johnston County kids, basketball players, whether they were seniors, college players, any high school grade and college players pretty much, but pretty much they ran a little bit of open run stuff, pretty much on the concrete in the park, a little bit of park run, and that was fun too. So if you check out the other channel I'm part of, WJG Sports, you'll have plenty of highlights from that, and it's something y'all should check out. We got some ladies run too, that ladies showed out too, so hopefully that gets run back too, so I can come back out and get more film of that. But this week's episode, it was really hard trying to figure out a good title for this week's episode. And then something happened on Friday that was very significant in the world of college basketball. So the episode for this week, the title for the episode 3 of Sundays with Strika, is called "Would You Like a Ripple Effect with That?" And of course, the ripple effect being that significant news broke Friday when McCord Maker, the 2020 prospect, attended Hillcrest Prep School in Arizona. I think it's in Arizona. If I got that wrong, my bad. But yes, Hillcrest Prep, McCord Maker, who is the cousin of NBA player Thon Maker, he announced that he committed to play basketball at Howard University. Of course, as just about everybody knows, Howard is one of the many prestigious historically black colleges and universities in the United States. Plays in the MEAC Conference Division I, and this is truly significant news because I remember ESPN had this stat after the news dropped that he was the first 5-star prospect out of in ESPN's database since they started ranking players to choose an HBCU to go to school, and that's been since 2007. So there are a few questions and a few things we got to talk about with this. First of all, congratulations to McCord Maker. I think it's really cool that he actually went and did it and committed. Like, people, a lot of kids and a lot of student athletes, a lot of coaches, just about everybody involved in HBCU athletics has been wanting student athletes to commit to their schools and play their college ball there, and not just basketball, but every sport. But really, the first question I want to tackle here is McCord Maker's commitment something, nothing, or everything? I would say, in my opinion, I would say it is something. Because of course it is only a commitment, and nothing is official until he signs that national letter of intent on the dotted line. And then it becomes everything. I think that's how I would answer it. I think that McCord Maker making this choice, being one of the first five-star prospects to do this in such a long time, could start a ripple effect of student athletes doing this. And of course, I know Mikey Williams, who's this big basketball sensation out in California, really good basketball player out there. He's been talking up a storm on social media, saying that he's going to commit to HBCU, and I think it's great. It's always great to talk about it, but it's also great to actually make the move. And McCord Maker made the move, and that there was no pun intended on that when I said that. But I really believe that it could start a ripple effect once McCord Maker signs on that dotted line and says, "I'm officially playing at Howard," whether it's for 1 year or for 4, the way he is an extremely talented basketball player, so it will likely be a year. If you ask me, I'm sure a lot of others would say so. But right now he's only committed, so his mind could change. He could say, I'm going to go to the G League, or I'm going to go to one of the other finalists that he had. Like, I believe Duke and Kentucky were 2 of the finalists. I forgot was it Memphis was the other one? But either way, like, there are a couple of blue blood programs in his that were on his final list before he ended up choosing Howard. But either way, I still think it's really cool that he went ahead and committed to Howard. Of course, there have been a lot of other high major players that have transferred to HBCUs in recent days and weeks. So, but that's not new. A lot of kids that may not have gotten the type of playing time, or like things might have gone wrong at the initial Power 5 school, for example, and then made their way to HBCU and thrive there. So that's happened many times before. But a 5-star prospect choosing Howard over schools like Duke and Kentucky, that hasn't happened in a while. So it's definitely something very significant. And maybe this could set a precedent for future student athletes to commit to play at HBCUs. And I know there's been a debate about, well, are HBCUs actually going out and offering kids scholarships to play at their schools and financial stuff and all this other stuff? But and that's very understandable to say. I really believe that it is also a responsibility for HBCU coaches at all levels to give players a chance to compete and get a scholarship offer. But of course, it really like talent also matters too. So it's like there's like both sides of the coin type deal with that debate, and all of it's been good dialogue. It's been necessary dialogue. It's really also shined a light on HBCU programs. I mean, when it comes to football, of course, there have been several HBCU players, like all-time great players like Jerry Rice and others that have gone to HBCUs and excelled there, and then go on to have great NFL careers and become Hall of Famers. So it can be done from the HBCU level. I definitely do agree with that. And I think McCord Maker is setting a precedent for what is to come. And I can't wait to see what he says on, I believe he's going to be interviewed Thursday somewhere. So I can't wait to hear his thought process on why Howard was his choice. And I believe, if I recall correctly, McCord Maker did visit Howard on I think it was an official visit. I think this was a few months back, but it did seem like Howard was clearly on his mind for a while, and it's definitely cool to see that a 5-star prospect of his caliber, who is incredibly talented, make this move. Of course, he's a 6'11" forward that handles the ball like a guard and shoots a 3 like it's nobody's business, and is efficient either way. And the team he was on, Hillcrest Prep, has so many high-level players that are probably going to be playing. Well, they're going to have a lot of players from the 2020 class at the Division I level, and they will likely have that in beyond. Like for 2021, they got some great prospects too. So really just excited to see this news. I will say I'm really excited to see this news. It's definitely something that could really impact college sports, not just college basketball, but especially in college basketball. It's so significant because usually 5-star prospects would usually make the move and go to a Power 5 school, a blue blood program, and that's not a bad thing either. I mean, it's brand names. I mean, when you're talking about your Kentuckys, your Carolinas, your Dukes, your Kansases, your Villanovas. I mean, when you talk about schools like that, it's really hard to turn that down. It's really hard to turn down playing for all-time great coaches like the ones at those respective schools and other blue blood programs. So really just really is a different route, a unique route, and something that will definitely be, who knows, it could be something that starts a precedent for future student athletes to make the choice to go to HBCUs. But really, another thing I take away from it is that like I said earlier, there are those who talk about and say that they're going to go to HBCUs, and there are those who commit, like Makur Maker did. And of course, I mean, he comes from a great basketball family. I mean, his brother's in the NBA, his cousin Thon Maker is in the NBA. His other cousin, Matur Maker, is also trying to get there, I believe. If he isn't there already, I'm not really sure. But really, like, all of them came into their high school ball with a lot of hype. And I mean, in some way, they lived up to it. I mean, they're going to be playing at Division I programs. I mean, like, Makur Maker's playing Division I ball, so I mean, I don't think he didn't live up to the hype. I mean, he had offers from high-level schools too, so yeah, absolutely, he definitely lived up to the hype at Hillcrest Prep, and I got to see him at the John Wall Holiday Invitational in Raleigh this year, and he was talented, and their whole team was very fun to watch. And yeah, shout out to Howard, shout out to MEAC basketball. I know they've got a lot. I mean, MEAC ball has a lot of great programs, and there are so many Division I HBCUs out there for kids to look at, as long as the schools are willing to extend them an offer. And I mean, and it's also mostly about like local based recruiting and stuff. Like, if you offer someone in your backyard, that's great. That's what you should do, in my opinion. Like, put like a wall across your border of your state and really hit that area hard and try and get good prospects from that area too. So really just, it is truly exciting to see Makur Maker make this decision. And I think it'll be something big, something to monitor. And I know honestly, not just people who are fans of Howard Athletics, but really just fans of HBCU athletics and HBCUs in general should definitely be happy about this. I think it's really cool, and I think it could be something that we could see over the next several years. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, Makur Maker going to Howard, that is definitely something that I don't think it caught. I mean, I think it did catch a lot of people by surprise, but it was a pleasant surprise, and we can't wait to see what he does out there. As long as he signs on that dotted line and says he's going to Howard, like officially, we can't wait to see what he does in the MEAC. In terms of expectations for Howard, I mean, I think most people would be like, well, yeah, they should win the MEAC now, right? I mean, they have this 5-star prospect who's really good coming to their school, but just because the team has like a lot of talent and size in the MEAC doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to win. I mean, over the last several years in the MEAC conference tournament, you would think the team that was the number 1 seed, they're like, okay, yeah, it's easy money. They're going to go to the NCAA tournament and make it. But that's not been the case. Sometimes that hasn't been the case. So really, it's about Howard, first of all, making a name for themselves in out-of-conference play, and Makur Maker playing well against the very good non-conference schedule they'll likely be playing. I really believe that it's something that could really help Howard and Makur put his name out there and say, yeah, I could play against these teams too, even if I'm at a HBCU. So, and then after that, it's getting into conference play where you're going to be playing difficult teams every single night. And then once you're in the conference tournament, it's a one-game playoff pretty much, because the MEAC is a type of conference where it's likely one bid. So really, the conference tournament is something they have to really focus on and be great. They have to play great so that they can reach any postseason. But hopefully for Howard, maybe it's the NCAA tournament. Who knows? So, yeah, there are plenty of things to digest with Makur's commitment to Howard University. And it's definitely an exciting time for HBCU athletics, because not just in basketball, but football is great too. I think there are many teams that consistently win double-digit games in football. So, of course, with everything that's going on right now, who knows if we have fall sports, but football, as long as if it's held, football is going to be big in the MEAC this year and other conferences, HBCU conferences. So, and then once we're into basketball, it'll be the same way. So either way, Makur commits to Howard. Really cool. And can't wait to see what comes of it. So the only question left is what's next. So we'll see how that goes. The other thing I wanted to talk about today was a little bit of social media beef in South Carolina. Some dude, I don't know, I don't remember his name. What's his name? Like Jeff Baxter from South Carolina Varsity or whatever. Apparently went at a kid on Twitter for, I don't know, something like 4th of July related or something. And he's like, if you don't love this country, then get out of here. You know, he said that to a high school student. And it caused a huge stir among the community in South Carolina. And it really goes to show, like, there are a few lessons to be learned from that, but I'll continue with the story first. So the kid's name is Kobe Cornelius, and he plays at this high school in South Carolina. I'll have to confirm that for you again, because and I'm going to the old iPad, which you'll see a lot on the show if you're watching on YouTube, of course. But really, it disturbed me, and I barely know a thing about South Carolina high school football, other than that there's a lot of talent out there, and those teams are really good, which I know that. But really, just seeing this kid getting attacked on social media by this apparently esteemed sports writer for South Carolina football or whatever, it really irked me from afar, because why would you say that to a student athlete that you cover? And like I said, there would be a few. Let's see. How can I say this? Like, there are a few things that you could take away from this. First of all, there are a lot of people like this in the media who are really like shouldn't have any spot in media, that because of how they treat the student athletes they cover. That's who, when it comes to like what we do as media, the sports media that cover prep sports, it's all about the kids, and we gotta respect and admire how hard these kids work, and not just South Carolina, but in North Carolina too, right here too. It was really disturbing to see this guy. I don't really know him. It was just honestly just really disturbing to see this guy attack a kid on social media for something he believed in, but at the same time, it was also great to see the overwhelming support for Kobe Cornelius, who plays at Spring Valley High School in Columbia, South Carolina. I mean, it was just tough to see. I mean, why would you attack someone on social media for something they believe in? I mean, especially when you're an apparently esteemed sports writer who covers prep sports in an area where high school athletics means a lot to a lot of people. South Carolina is huge, especially for football. Really the outpouring of support is incredible because they started a hashtag, SC Varsity isn't for us. And apparently that's accurate because of how disrespectful he was to that young man. But it was really also great to see the support from kids from around the state saying that, this guy is he isn't a good person. He shouldn't be doing this. But either way, like, I mean, look at this dude. This dude, whoever this Baxter guy is, looks like he wants to relive his teenage years as a frat brother or something. But either way, it was still really disturbing, and it's a lesson for a lot of people who are running like events and sporting events and prep sports and are inviting media members to come out. There are certain media members who move funny like this, and those are people that you should not have anywhere near your kids if you're a parent. There's no, like, you don't want them to represent you and like showcase you in a way like this. Like, it's something that you really should take into account when you're thinking about inviting certain media outlets to sporting events. How do they act around kids? How much of do they have a good or bad rep around them, and things of that nature. So really, it was disturbing, but also good at the same time, to just as a thing that's been going on since this whole quarantine started, and since everything's been going on right now, is that there are a lot of people who've told on themselves lately, in the media, in everyday life, and pretty much just anything, really. I mean, it's honestly sad to see that some media members would act like this towards a student athlete and tell them to get out of the country. Like, why would you tell that to a 16, 17-year-old kid who just wanted to speak his opinion? But it was good to see people support that young man, and he definitely has my support from here in Greenville, North Carolina. And I'm sure he's got a lot of support elsewhere across the Southeast too, because people like that in media shouldn't be allowed to do that. Even, I don't care how long you've been doing it, you should not be allowed to have any access to whatever you're covering if you want to act like this towards the kids that you cover. So really, Jeff Baxter, you can't do that, man. That's just, you could just leave it to yourself. And I mean, I learned this lesson plenty of times, like, don't press send on tweets. And so, I mean, he pressed send, and now he's got a firestorm coming his way because he didn't know how to act. And really, it was another case of what I talked about in episode 2 about who are the real adults, which was the episode title for that, which you should check out along with the other along with our premiere episode, excuse me. And I guess Kobe Cornelius is another one of those kids that are the real adults in this situation. A kid who stood up for himself and got a lot of support from people who stood up for him, and it's truly just another case of somebody's morals not align, like somebody else's morals not aligning with a personal moral compass of this young man here. So really just disappointed with how this media member acted, and it's something that they should be held accountable for this. And honestly, his reputation might have gotten ruined by this, because social media has kind of done that to people who tell on themselves, the whole cancel culture type beat. So either way, it's sad. It's disturbing seeing someone who is in my field of sports media act like this and show their true colors towards a student athlete. And now a lot of people are finally not finally, they're coming out saying that he's not one of them and he does not represent us. So that's definitely another thing, another lesson for those that want to be in sports media. Always be respectful to parents, to student athletes, to anybody, even if they're not respectful to you back. Show them that you care about them, you respect them, you respect the student athlete's hard work, and you want to showcase them the right way. And that's how you get that's how you have a media entity grow, and how you have your reputation grow as a sports writer or videographer or photographer. And this SC varsity guy or whoever he is, that he's not one of them. So either way, those were really the two topics I really wanted to talk about today. McCord Maker committing to Howard, and this SC varsity guy getting dragged through social media for being an idiot. And other than that, this has been episode 3 of Sundays with Strika. Of course, once again, my name is Laika Abibi, aka Strika. You can find me on Twitter at StrikaNation24_ for Twitter and Instagram. Those are my personal ones. The STRIKA'LITES YouTube channel, which you're on right now. I hope you can subscribe to that. I hope you could also listen to us on Anchor and other podcasting platforms. The more plays will help me out, and always leave a good review for me. And if there are any topics that you'd like me to discuss, let me know on social media, direct message me, or just mention me on Twitter or something, and let me know what you'd like me to talk about. Of course, I would love to have guests too. I just wanted to get off a few episodes solo to see what I could do, and I think it's been pretty good, at least in my opinion. But either way, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, you could always direct message me too. Just contact me whenever you can. You know where to find me on social media and stuff. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next week. Peace out.